Hi, I'm Jack Whitehead, a visiting professor at the University of Cumbria in the UK. I'm really delighted to be here again to talk to you about some ideas that came out last year at the conference on poverty, globalisation and schooling at the University of Central Florida. And what I've done this year is to actually show what it is to actually develop those ideas. Now, last year I put up all the notes and the video and the PowerPoints, and you can access those from my website, which is actionresearch.net. And in there you'll see that I focused on the development of a holistic approach to poverty, globalisation and schooling, and it was through a living theory approach to research. Now, those ideas, as I say, are all on the web. They deal with what I'm meaning by holistic approach, by looking at globalisation, looking at poverty, distinguishing living theory research from a particular living educational theory, and looking at the values of a global citizen. Now, this year, what I want to do is to focus on developments in the approach, which focus on something that you may find a little strange, because what I want to argue is that each one of us can actually generate from the kind of embodied knowledge which we have actually worked on over years of reflection in our own practice, as we try to live our values that we believe carry hope for the flourishing of humanity as fully as possible. And it's this idea that you and I, along with many others, can bring our embodied knowledge into the academy for recognition and accreditation, and to actually spread the influence of the values that we believe can actually carry hope for the flourishing of humanity. Now, this approach is actually very different to the kind of traditional academic approach in many universities, where the programs of study often mean that you go to master the ideas of others. And there's nothing wrong with this approach. I study and continue to study myself in the philosophy, psychology, sociology, history of education, on leadership and administration. But none of these traditional academic theories can actually generate a valid explanation of my educational influence in my own learning and in the learning of others, and in the learning of the social formations that influence my practice and understandings. And it's this that I want to explain, how you might develop this approach in your own work. And the idea focuses on bringing your embodied knowledge for recognition into the academy. But not only that, to try to contribute to the generation of a profession of master educators who are actually committed not only to improving their practice in education, but also to contributing to the educational knowledge base through researching their own attempts to improve their practice as they try to improve their own learning and the learning of others. And I want to suggest that the idea of tackling issues of poverty, globalisation and schooling could actually rest on the creation of international networks of master educators who are willing to focus on the values that they believe actually carry hope for the flourishing of humanity. And I'm thinking here of values such as the kindness, compassion, love, democracy, freedom, justice, the values that I can just talk about through my words, but actually I really do need to be accountable to living those values in my practice through researching and generating knowledge which demonstrates that I can explain my educational influence in terms of those values. And this will be the focus of my 2016 talk to the conference on holistic approach to globalisation and poverty and schooling at the University of Central Florida. And as last year, I shall put all my notes and resources on my webpage actionresearch.net, where you can access these freely, along with the Educational Journal of Living Theories, which is a multimedia journal, which I do encourage you to submit your own living theories to in terms of trying to spread the influence of the values that you believe do carry this hope for the flourishing of humanity. Well, it's really good to be participating in the conference once again, and I'll leave you now with that knowledge of this video, the PowerPoint slides and the notes. Bye for now.